What's up, everybody? It's Caleb. So, the other day I was cleaning out some of my old Pokemon games, filling out my Pokedex, trading them around, and I ran into a Feraligatr that was named Lort. And I was like, okay, I had this in high school. I remember thinking this name was hilarious. And I remember it being a reference from something, but I can't remember what the reference is to, but I remember everything about the reference. So it's like this guy in kind of like a New York accent, this old guy, and he's like, hey, look at me, I'm Lort! I'm Lort! Look at me, I'm Lort! But I don't remember what it's from, and I can't look, when I Google it, it just comes pictures of poop, because apparently Lort means like poop in some other language. But I'm desperate to know what that's a reference to, so if you can think of it, please let me know. I'd be very grateful. Enjoy the episode. Any of you? I'm Lort!
I'm surprised at how much poop shows up when you type Lord.
Look at me, I'm Lort! What I would like to do now is just a circle of recommendations. We can call it recommendations. So what it is we're going to go around the circle, and each person, what you're going to do is you're just going to say certain qualities that you like in things, certain things that you like, maybe certain interests that you have, or certain things that you enjoy being entertained by. And then the rest of us are going to make recommendations to you of books, musicians, movies, video games, that type of thing, based on what you told us about yourself.
Okay.
So the primary goal for this is just that we can recommend cool things to each other. So try to be truthful to yourself. Mm-hmm. But then also, it could be an interesting exercise too. But I mean, I'm just into the idea of sharing some ideas of what we think based on our life experience someone else might like. So I'll go ahead and start to give you an example of what I mean when I say that, of the things that we should say. So, something that I really like is, I love outer space. I love the occult. I love bugs. I love it when things take their time. I like strategy. Those are some good ones. I also really like crystals. So crystals, bugs, outer space, strategy, slow, really chill, like chill things. Those are some things that I like. So based on those things, what are some recommendations that you all have for me? And you don't have to all say something. It's just sort of like a conversation, basically.
I have a movie that that is for space and strategy. Maybe you've seen it, Sunshine?
I've not seen Sunshine.
Oh, I was going to recommend that too.
So Sunshine feels like it feels like it's within the realm of possibility.
Uh-huh.
And it does kind of have, not a cult, but there is this undertone of like human nature and what a person will do when they're pushed to the edge, kind of like insanity, and that plays into the strategy of this whole mission.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we're dealing with the sun, which is a star closest to Earth, so it's like everything's going to take time when you're dealing with such vast distances. So I would recommend the movie Sunshine to you. I really enjoyed that movie.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yes.
And if you're not already into the musical group M83, I think you might like them as well.
I am not.
Their music usually has a slow build to it, but it really reminds me of outer space.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's just like, the thing it always makes me think of is riding my bike at night in the summer, looking up at the sky. Like, it's just an amazing feeling to listen to that music.
Wow, that's super cool. Thanks for the recommendation.
You've read Ender's Game.
I've not.
You haven't?
No, I've not.
Oh.
Really? I had the recommendation for ages to read that book. Had gotten that recommendation from many people and put it off, and I put it off until a year and a half ago. And I read it, and oh man, I loved it.
enjoyable experience.
Yeah, super good, and I'm super glad that I didn't know anything about it. And since that was the case, I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
All right, cool.
Actually, I can give you like a premise that's
Uh-huh.
not going to give anything away.
Yeah, sure.
But essentially, it's like military program. They're looking for like kids, basically,
Mhm.
that are really good at strategy and
I see.
yeah.
That's interesting. Reminds me of some stuff, which is cool.
And apparently, I've had mixed reviews, but there's
Mhm.
a bunch of other Orson Scott Card books based on Ender's Game world
Oh, really?
that I haven't delved into at all yet.
I see.
I really like Speaker for the Dead and Xenocide. Those are really good.
Oh, wow. Well, I just got 3 juicy recommendations, so thanks, people.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to go next, feel free. Or if somebody wants to recommend another thing to me, you can also do that. But I feel very satisfied.
Well, of course, if you haven't seen Contact, I'm going to recommend that
All right, yeah.
because it's perfect.
I also have not seen that.
So good, so good.
All right. I like science fiction movies that aren't cheesy, and by that I just mean I want to be able to believe they're actually on the adventure that we're being shown. Acting, the set of it. I don't want to feel like it's a movie. I like space. I think space is a very like sort of the final say in all of our existence. Like, Earth is so fragile, space is so vast, time is not infinite.
Whoa.
So I like space, and I like feel-good movies. You know, maybe like a Diamond in the Rough. I like to feel moved by movies. Would be my biggest enjoyable thing about cinema.
Nice.
So those.
Let me see. I have to get my phone so I can remember something's name. I don't want to be on the app for IMDb. I want to be on the actual page for IMDb.
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 Give me some DB, I am.
Give me some DB. Up on that TB.
When I shit, I need TP.
Oh yeah.
IMDb.
There it is. Yes. I mean, okay. The movie that I was thinking of is Europa Report.
Europa Report.
Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, yeah, I strongly recommend that movie. It's it was at the Pickford a few years ago, which is, for those who don't know, a local theater, local movie theater in town. But it's a low-budget science fiction movie about a team of scientists that are exploring Europa,
Which is a
the
moon of Jupiter. Yeah, you know that.
And it is sort of found footage style, but it's very well acted, and it's a really, I really loved it, and I think it's on Netflix. I strongly recommend it.
All right. Europa Report.
Yeah, Europa Report. It has another one of my favorite actors in it, Charlton Copley, who was the lead actor in the movie District 9, among other
Ooh,
things.
I like District 9.
Yeah.
I really like that concept of aliens coming here and not being this powerhouse that we
Right.
assume they would be.
And yeah, this movie is definitely not as fantastical as District 9. It was sort of like what you're talking about, it being more like, you can imagine it happening,
Okay.
but it's still very good.
All right. Well, thanks. I will watch that and then get back to you.
Nice.
Probably by the next time we record.
Cool.
Europa Report.
I'm a fan of fantasy type genres, but I don't really like animated movies, and I don't like a lot of violence. so it's pretty difficult for me to find fantasy movies that I like. But obviously, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter are super up on the list. I also like farces and stuff like that. Like Death at a Funeral is one of my favorite movies of all time.
The original?
Yeah, the British one.
Okay.
Fuck the Tyler Perry one. Oh my god. So stupid. I haven't even seen it, and I have no desire to see it.
Well, you just alienated a quarter of our audience.
Yeah, we are the
Good.
Tyler Perry Death at a Funeral audience. If there's anything.
Good. The movie's terrible. It was perfect the way it was. Why did they have to remake it? I don't know. And of course, I like a little bit of sci-fi because of all the stuff we've already been talking about with Contact. I just can't stop talking about it. It's just so good.
You've seen Sunshine.
I have, and I loved it. It was so good. It was great. I've also seen one called Moon. That blew my mind.
Moon is very good.
I love mind-blowing movies like The Prestige. My life was never the same after seeing that. Crazy. I also very enjoy period piece type movies. Like The Duchess with Keira Knightley is also another really good one. Super into history, learning stuff.
Alright.
And all of that goes for books as well, because most of the things I like are also books that are movies as well.
Have you seen Another Earth?
No, I have not.
It's like another Earth shows up in the sky, and on it are the exact people that are on this one, but both Earths appear to both Earths. And it's like they get really into the politics of what to do, and eventually they're able to send ambassadors across, and other stuff happens.
Huh.
Are the ambassadors that they send across the same from both planets?
They are.
Whoa.
They are. It's
I
the
thought
same
they might
person
be.
because they're
'Cause
the
those are
same Earth.
Those are the people that they would send.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that one was really interesting. Kind of like a mind F.
Yeah, I love those kind of movies. Like, I believe we watched Predestination.
Predestinate. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that one was crazy. And Mr. Nobody and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Something that I want to recommend really quick, based on what Cecily said, is a game, and it's not necessarily like, okay, it is a fantasy world, but it's a very recent game, and it's called The Witness, and it is a exploration and puzzle game that's very, very beautiful, and it's first person, and it takes place on this fantastical island. It's kind of like a more interactive version of Myst, if you're familiar with Myst at all, which was like this old exploration-based game, but it's very ingenious, and it's just absolutely beautiful and breathtaking and fantastical, and there's no combat, and it's not, there's like no death or fighting, and it's just this amazing exploration and puzzle-solving experience that
What's
is
it called?
very fantastical. It's called The Witness, and it's the second game, or the next game by the person who created the game Braid, which was one of the original indie games that sort of busted through the main market, which is also a really good game, which is like a side-scrolling game that talks about like the philosophy of time and time travel and love and stuff. And it's just like this basic sort of Mario platformer that's really beautiful, except you have the ability to go back in time. And I also recommend Braid.
Is that a console game?
I think it's for like consoles and PC, both The Witness and Braid.
Oh.
The Witness is more exploration based and cerebral, and like Braid might be more of a story. But they're both great.
Well,
Billy, you're the last one
About what I like?
to be recommended stuff
I
to.
certainly haven't recommended very many things myself. Part of that is because I just don't watch much anymore. When I get excited about a recommendation, I like immediately just tell you guys
Yeah.
already. Are you guys questing or what? What's the scoop?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just sort of going around killing random stuff
Getting that gold.
because of that Anguish Fortress.
I love
Right.
gold.
But yeah, all good.
All of my quests now, except for one small one, is at that place. Those are the only quests I have. Blingtron right outside my garrison.
Blingtron. Woo.
Come on, Blingtron, give me a ton of gold. No, didn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't get nothing from the Blingtron I found either. Rude.
Billy, you gotta do it, man.
Alright, well, I really enjoy dystopian futures. Reading about those. I don't enjoy the thought that those could be realities, but I enjoy comedy and action adventure and like sort of more classic type comedy rather than newer comedies, I think. Although maybe
Rather
there's
than
some-
like the vulgarity, is that what you're thinking of like the whole
yeah.
newer comedy?
Yeah. Well, they're older comedies are vulgar, I guess, but they're just not dumb.
That makes sense.
Thanks.
Have you seen The Island or read that? I think it's also a book.
Is that the one with Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
You like that?
Of course I did. Scarlett Johansson in it. Looking perfect.
Yep, that's about-
dystopia and comedy.
Well, I don't. It's not all one genre.
Right. Tough guy to please over here.
I'm writing one right now because I don't think it exists. But seriously, don't steal my ideas.
I'm really focused on the dystopian future part. I think there's a lot of good stuff out there with that. Have you seen any of the airplane movies?
Yeah, like not all the way through. In a while, at least.
Oh. Alright. If you're into any of what Airplane does, there's a movie that's Leslie Nielsen. It's called Wrongfully Accused.
I think I've seen that one.
You've seen Wrongfully Accused?
I think so,
It's
yeah.
so many gags that it makes it funny. I recommend that.
This is based off of like the older comedy recommendation, and it's possible that you've seen this, but have you seen OSS 117? Oh wow, okay, great. Yeah, so lead actor Jean Dujardin in a French espionage parody film. It's very it's a semi-recent movie, but it's not a dumb comedy at all, and it's the lead actor that was also the lead actor in the Best Picture-winning film The Artist. But man, the first time that I saw OSS 117, I was just absolutely blown away by like how funny it was in such like a well-traveled area in comedy of like espionage
Spy,
parody. But it's so not an Austin Powers. Not that there's anything wrong with Austin Powers,
I
but
like Austin
I would
Powers.
see Austin Powers as being kind of like dumber, I guess. But OSS 117 is just such a good movie on all levels, and it's a comedy.
All right.
I
I'll
recommend
take it.
that.